Good morning, everybody. Welcome to OfferX's webinar on the topic Say Goodbye to Candidate Ghosting. I'm Apurva and I'll be your host for today's event. The total duration of the webinar will be 45 minutes, and the webinar will focus on the agenda of panelist introduction, polling, understanding OfferX and its benefits, panelist talk, short demonstration, interaction with the product owner, Q&A session. But before, let me introduce our esteemed panelists. They are experts from the various fields and are here to join us with valuable insights. Ramchandra Madela, Chief Human Resource Officer, Aspentech; Hari Prasad, Talent Acquisition Manager, Experience.com; Santosh Kumar, Product Owner, OfferX. We are going to commence polling, but before that, I would really like to share a success story that came across through a client. A story where the client was very eager to join OfferX. And that was something unusual because OfferX had just been launched. But we were curious, so that's why we wanted to ask them that what is the reason that you are at such a hurry of joining OfferX? And they told us that only recently they had lost a 10-year-old client due to mass ghosting when they had to bring candidates to the client. About 20 of the candidates backed out at the same time. And the client was some 10-year-old project that they had. But the client suddenly lost faith in them, suddenly lost any trust that they could do a proper job, which was very disheartening. And of course, the shortlisted candidate before joining, when they leave suddenly, it affects the reputation of the organization, of even a department in the internal departments of the company. So my question is, have you experienced the same issue of candidate ghosting? And has it impacted your organization or your relationships with the client? Please take a moment to answer the poll. There will be 2 minutes. Please let us know what our attendees feel, if they have seen if you have feel something personally, or if you have gone through something, or you have heard of something similar. Please let us know. Please take 2 minutes for the poll. I hope all the attendees are taking their time to to react on the poll. It would really help us understand your uh, thought of thought process and point of view. Last 10 seconds remaining, and we are closing the poll. Let's see what the result says. I can see very many messages also in the chat that people are saying that that such a behavior about from the candidates has definitely impacted the organization's relations and has definitely had such repercussions. About 73% of the attendees are currently saying that such candidate behavior has been very difficult for the recruitment department and for the HR department to handle. And of course, it has impacted and affected the organization's relation with the clients, organization's internal working. But you needn't worry anymore. OfferX is here to definitely battle with the ghosting and job moonlighting issues that you have been encountering until now. And to understand what OfferX is all about, to understand what OfferX wants to do uh, to help the fraternity, I would like for us to watch this video that will make us understand better what OfferX is all about.
Are you facing challenges with talent scarcity and unpredictable job offers? Have you experienced the frustration of spending time, money, and resources on hiring the perfect candidate, only to have them ghost you on the start date? Are you a candidate who spends hours searching for jobs and going through exhausting interview processes with no way to verify if the employer is legitimate or reliable? If so, you're not alone. A survey has found over 80% of employers have experienced ghosting after the offer was accepted by the candidate. Approximately 20% of job seekers reported having an employer withdraw an offer after the acceptance by the candidate. This has become a growing problem. This is why we have created OfferX to say goodbye to recruitment ghosting. OfferX is an online platform where employers can release offers through a secure digital portal where candidates can sign in and accept the offer. If there is a violation of the contract or ghosting behavior by either of the parties, it will be flagged and become part of their review history. Thereby, both parties will take the offer agreement very seriously. OfferX brings balance to the system and improves commitment on both sides to add stability and predictability to the job offers. Say goodbye to recruitment ghosting with OfferX. Join now at OfferX and take the first step towards a more stable and predictable job offer process.
With that video, we really hope that it has given you more insight into the platform and how OfferX and how it can act as a barrier for candidate ghosting or job moonlighting and the HR fraternity. But on that point, I would really like to call upon our first special guest, Ramchandra Madela, a global CHRO and a strategic HR leader who brings extensive experience from top Indian and US companies, specializing in HR transformation, technology, work planning across diverse sectors. He's certified executive coach, HR tech innovator, and a prolific speaker on business strategy and sustainable development. Over to you, Mr. Madela. Welcome.
Yeah, employee ghosting and also moonlighting is a very burning problem in the last, 1 decade because when the technology is growing, the it's a positive effects if the 90-95% are there. There is a 5% will be the bad effects and ill effects also will be there. People started taking multiple offers. People actually started working multiple companies. There is a multiple things are happening. This is where employee ghosting actually is going to play a vital role for us. So what we need to is we need to avoid this. To avoid this, we need to bring the technology like OfferX, and we have to take a lot of proactive steps that actually helps us to resolve this issue. Yeah, now you can start the questions.
We are very curious to know is what do you like best about OfferX's approach?
Yeah, OfferX I know Sai Kiran and many other team members, Apurva, yourself, and also I know I appreciate the OfferX focuses on job history, which is very, very important. See, today, whole our life is today post COVID. Everybody in the understanding the concerns about their health. Previously, last 100 years, we never focused that kind of health. Same thing, job history also is employee health in terms of job. So, giving a clear view of candidate ghosting behavior and reliability. So, how the person actually moves silently or professionally works for a long time, professionally contributes positively, the OfferX actually able to give us the job history very well. Consideration job moonlighting is also helpful in understanding if a candidate is accepting multiple job opportunities at the same time or not. So OfferX is having a lot of technology, a lot of collaboration, a lot of platforms to gather the information formally, informally, what the employee is speaking about his job or getting engaged somewhere else. That actually people get to know. That's the highlight of the OfferX. That will prevent to attrition. Number two, employee ghosting. Number three, even your moonlighting also. So this is a one technology can offer multiple benefits. That's where OfferX plays vital role. This is what my experience goes about.
Thank you so much, Mr. Madela. With that brilliant and exclusive talk, we have to now move on to our next special guest, Hari Prasad, a talent acquisition manager in people and culture at experience.com. He possesses expertise of over 10 years in the dynamic field of talent acquisition. His background spans from consulting, staffing, and corporate and in house recruitment in sectors including computer software, computer hardware, BFSI, investment banking, and NGO. He brings a unique perspective of talent acquisition strategies to today's discussion. Over to you, Mr. Prasad. Please play Mr. Prasad's presentation.
Hi, Purva. Thank you so much for the brief introduction. So, good morning, everyone, and I really thank OfferX team for giving me this platform to discuss about a very interesting topic, candidate ghosting. Quick raise: how many of you have experienced candidate ghosting?
I would like to tell the attendees that if you can just raise your hand in the chat, that will give us
Yeah,
the number of
yeah,
people who have experienced it.
that's great. I see multiple hands here, so I think we have a good number of people who have experienced candidate ghosting. What exactly is candidate ghosting? Ghost itself says that something invisible. So when I say candidate ghosting, candidates who doesn't respond or disappear all of a sudden from the recruitment process. It can be any stage, from starting from the interview stage till the offer stage or post offer stage till the joining stage. So in simple, what is candidate ghosting? When candidate stops responding or all of a sudden he disappears from the recruitment process, any stages of the recruitment process, we call it as a candidate ghosting. Sai, please move to the next slide. Thank you. So before talking about any topic or finding a solution for any issue, first we need to think, why is a problem arising? That is when we'll get to know how to find a solution for a particular role or a particular problem. So when I say, why do candidates ghost themselves? These are not the researched inputs that I've given. These are some inputs that I have received personally from candidates. See, in a team, in a HR team, there'll be multiple recruiters, and you will have a manager. The team will have a manager. So the minute the candidate or recruiter, your team member says that, sir, I don't see my candidate responding to my calls. So what do? We do approach in a different ways in terms of using different numbers, talking to their manager will approach, find what is the reason. So that way, whatever candidate ghosting issues that I have faced, and I have reached out to the candidates that we had offered or we were interviewing in a multiple stages, and I got those responses. So those are some real time inputs from the candidates. So that will help us find a real solutions. Okay, this is the problems that candidates are facing, and how do I ensure that from next time, to reduce the number of candidates ghosting, what are the strategies to be built? Candidates ghost is something which you cannot elevate completely or eliminate completely, but it can be reduced in terms of percentage. As Apurva was mentioning, almost 80% of the HRs are facing candidates ghosting, right, Apurva?
Yes, definitely. As per our poll today, about 73%, and as per our original study, about 85% have experienced candidate ghosting.
That's good. So that's a very huge number. How do we reduce that number? See, candidates have responded saying that I got a better opportunity. The minute they say better opportunities, what are the reasons? Firstly, they got an opportunity which is very closer to their home. Given that hybrid model is something new and remote is an other opportunity that we are seeing post COVID. In general, I'm taking the experiences or the responses that I've got throughout my career, 10 years of career. So I got a better opportunity closer to commute. So when we are looking for a candidate, first thing what HR has to do is find a candidates who are very closer to your office. I was doing one strategy. When I have a pin code of my location, my work location, and if you enter into a Naukri portal, pin code can be one of the keyword to find the nearest candidates, given that a lot of candidates will be putting their address in the CVs. If not CVs, at least they would update their address in the Naukri portal. If not pin code, nearby areas, you would find nearby areas. So you can use that as a keyword. So a lot of people said that closer to commute is some reason why we had to ghost ourselves. Second thing is, when you have a job, when you find a candidate, always try to find a candidate who's very closer to your city, within city, if not neighboring cities. The reason is, candidates have said that if I have got an opportunity in Bangalore, and how would I relocate from Delhi? Candidates in the passion of getting offers, in the urgency of getting opportunities, they would accept offers. But after getting offers, if they find some opportunities within Delhi or around Delhi, they're ghosting themselves. That is one thing. And third thing is, candidates are saying remote opportunities. Remote opportunity is a new working model that we are seeing post COVID. Before that, there were very few numbers in terms of single digit numbers that we were looking at in terms of opportunities. So that is one more reason the candidates are giving. Fourth one is salary. See, be more, when companies, competitors are offering better salary than what you're offering, right? So candidates goes themselves. They cannot justify their you know trust breaking with you. That is one more reason. Next is better culture. See, how many of us would say no to the offers from top companies like Google, Facebook, Microsoft? Could you please raise your hands? How many of you would say no?
I don't
So,
suppose, Mr. Prasad, anybody would want to say no to such big companies. Even I myself won't.
yeah, what is the reason that people are looking for such big companies? It is because of the culture. As Mr. Ramchandar clearly said, culture plays a vital role in either retrieving a candidate from the existing role or hiring a candidate for a new role. Culture plays an important role. First and foremost, assess what kind of a culture your company is carrying. First, as an HR, let us understand what is the company's culture. That is very much important. Next thing is, candidates have clearly mentioned I was not much interested in the JD. The reason is, when HR is not clearly explaining about a JD, say example, I am coming from a different background, staffing or consulting. Every recruiter in a team will have something called as a targets, that this many positions for a month to be closed. In the urgency of closing a position, or in the urgency of showing their managers the numbers, people are pushing, recruiters are pushing the candidates. If they're not interested, they're pushing. Please avoid that thing. Accept candidates only if they're actively looking for and they're very much interested. And there is one more sentence that I mentioned, not interested for now in this job description. This sentence I've heard from a candidate who was passively looking for jobs, not actively looking for jobs. Passive candidates come to the market just to understand what are the skills, where am I, and what is my market value. They utilize HRs to explore the jobs in the market. The last point, why candidates ghost, no proper response from the recruiter. This is a common thing. We don't have to take this to heart. Whether it is the issue with the hiring manager, the higher authority, because of multiple reasons, whether the position is going on hold or the candidate was not shortlisted by the hiring manager, for one or the other reasons, candidates experience this bad experience from a recruiter. So these are some reasons that candidates have highlighted. Sai, please move to the next slide. How do we reduce candidate ghosting? It is very simple. If you can compare my previous PPT and this, see, when you are approaching a candidate as a recruiter or a HR, our responsibility is not to just give inputs about the role. It is also to understand the candidate better. See, JD is not the only thing which will fit in a candidate, but as Mr. Ramchandra clearly said, and also Apurva mentioned a couple of points, there are a lot of things apart from a JD. The personal reasons, the challenges like whether they are within the city, the travel time. If someone who would have experienced from metro cities like Bangalore, New Delhi, or Hyderabad or Chennai, traffic is a bigger problem. Not just in the major cities, most of the cities, traffic is the bigger problem, and people or candidates would like to badly avoid that thing. So they explore for remote opportunities. So there are multiple things that you need to check. For example, if you are hiring a candidate who's a single at this moment, and his or her category age category falls between 26 to 28, how do you look at the possibilities? He may get married or she may get married. They may need a leave down the lane, 1 month or 6 months. Okay, so all those are adversaries. Whether that will fit in my JD, whether my hiring manager will be able to hire a candidate. So all this personal, see, the more you understand the candidate's background, there are high possibility of reducing this candidate ghosting. Second thing is look for candidates who are within city. As I mentioned in my previous PPT, candidates always look at opportunities which are very homely for them. If not worst case, there are some skills which we will not be able to find within the city. What we do is we'll look for the neighboring cities. Don't look for, see, if you're in a Bangalore, don't look for candidates who are in Delhi. Look for cities like Chennai, Hyderabad, neighboring cities. So that'll be more easier, and there is high possibility of candidates joining us instead of ghosting themselves. Third thing is, as you know, for every employee or a candidate within organization or outside the organization, HR is a devil. Don't trust HR. That is the preoccupied mentality that every individual carries. So instead of acting in as HR, act as a well-wisher. How do you act as a well-wisher? Be genuine in terms of personality. When you're talking to candidates, be a well-wisher. Build a trust. That will help building a trust in a candidate, and candidate joins a company either for a culture or see, when you're representing a company, you yourself are a brand ambassador. So the better the culture you are showing to the candidate, the better the possibility candidate wants to join only your company. Fourth one is salary expectations. As I clearly mentioned in the previous slide, one of the bigger challenge which candidates have clearly mentioned was, I got a better salary from other company. When you're talking to the candidates in the urgency of making the submissions for the day, or in the urgency of satisfying the managers that is expected by your manager, do not push candidates. You may get the numbers, but you will lose the candidate end of the day. What happens is you may have to repeat your efforts from the beginning. That also that will also stress your mentally. Also lose the trust with your manager, saying that this recruiter is not able to find a candidate. And third thing is ROI of the company impacts very badly. Please do avoid as much as possible. And at the very initial stages, when a candidate is expecting so and so JD, please clearly mention this is the minimum criteria that we can offer. If you are willing to proceed, we will proceed. If not, we'll drop as candidature. So that is one more way where you can reduce the number of candidate postings. Next point is how better you explain the JD. It is very, very, very important. The more the clear the JD it is, it'll be very important for us to, it'll be very easy for us to hold a candidate. And finally, find if there are any offers, counter offers from the candidate. Okay. So with that, I think I'm done with my presentation. And thank you very much for everyone for listening to me. Any questions, please type in chat box. Thank you, Purva.
Thank you so much. That was a very informative session, to be honest. And for those who are actually sending questions, a lot of questions were there for the special guests. Let me assure you, there is going to be the Q&A session, and it is, you can put your questions up in the chat as well. But now let's quickly move on to the demonstration. Sai, Kiran, if you would please take the demonstration ahead for OfferX platform, that will really explain the platform better to the viewers and attendees.
Thank you, Apurva, for the quick introduction. Good morning to everyone. Good morning to one and all. As we strongly believe in the HR fraternity, and also many of the talent acquisition managers might find it very hard to source a candidate. And after releasing the offer letter to the candidate, if the candidate doesn't turn up at the time of joining date, that's kind of heartbreaking for the HR. So we have a tool in place to give the previous history of the candidate uh, to understand the behavior of the candidate. So just let me share my screen and present the demonstration. So once you type offerx.in in Google platform, our user interface looks familiar to the one that I'm presenting right now. So you have to click on register button for the first time that you're registering. And once you click on the register button, then you can see two options. We have two sides of the platform. One is the company side, the another is the candidate side. Just if you click on the company side and click on next, you can see three options. One is to create an account. The other is if your email ID is already synced up with Microsoft, you can register with the Microsoft. Otherwise, you can use Google Suite, G Suite as well. So I'm using a demonstration account. Let me directly log into my demonstration account and show you the internal dashboard. Yes. So once you register by filling all the details and do a quick sign up, then this is how our internal dashboard looks like. On the right hand side top, you can see a search filter, search criteria, which says the search by a candidate name or search by a job title. So if you can search for a candidate to see their previous offer history and also the ratings given by the corporate. Let us take an example of Shubham Patel. So I'm searching for Shubham Patel's profile on the platform. And there are different ratings given by different organizations against Shubham Patel. For example, Naltad has given one rating and given a review of Ghosted as a review to Mr. Shubham Patel. That means that he has accepted the offer, but however, for the certain reasons, he have not joined the organization Naltad. Similarly, WotC as well as Apex India Infosystem also rated Mr. Shubham Patel. So this gives you a rough idea of the behavior pattern of Shubham Patel towards the different organizations. But there is another most important feature is the offer history. So for example, Shubham has accepted the offer from your organization and he's also scouting for different offer letters in the market. So if he's accepting the offer letter in the market and that gets notified to you in OfferX tool over here. So that gives you a understanding about the previous offer histories and also the ongoing acceptance of the offer histories by the candidates in the tool. On the left-hand side, you can see at the job offers tab. Once we explore the job offers tab, you can release an offer letter from here. So by clicking on the release an offer by offer letter option, so you can search for the candidate, you can fill in the details, and you can fill in the position and the offer joining date, offer joining date, etc. And you can release the offer from here. So once you release the offer, that gets stored in the pending section, followed by it goes to the accepted stage. Once the candidate accepts the offer letter, then it goes to the onboarding once the candidate is getting onboarded. And if the candidate is ghosting the employer, it gets and stores in the ghosted stage. Second, the dashboard, which gives you the total analytics of how many offers has been released, what is the total accepted, what is the total declined, and what is the total expired. So this also gives you an understanding to the acceptance to the onboarding ratio in your complete organization. The third is the candidate invitation. So you can invite a candidate from here. So once you click on invitation of a candidate, it should ask you for the first name, last name, and the email ID. By entering all these details, an automatic link would go to the candidate and they can register, they can join OfferX. You can also try using the bulk uploads option by using an Excel or a dropdown. Bulk invitations would go to the candidate. The fourth is like managed employees. The tool can be shared with your colleagues and counter recruiters by inviting an employee. So you have to fill the first name, last name, and email ID. And also you can assign a role. Either it could be an admin role. Admin role, that's an the administrator can do the account level changes. However, if you're giving an offer manager as a role, then offers can be released through their user login. I mean, these are the few features about our tool, and definitely we would individually love to connect with you and help you use the tool. And thank you. Thank you. Over to you, Apurva.
Thank you, Sai. That was a very informative session. And for those who would want an even in-depth demonstration, you can always reach out to us. The contact details will be shared at the end of the webinar. Our next panelist is Santosh, the product owner of OfferX. Santosh is a seasoned savant in software development and has been instrumental in crafting OfferX's innovative features. Over to you, Santosh.
Thanks, Apurva, for the introduction. First of all, I'm thankful to have our guest speakers today, Mr. Hari Prasad and Mr. Ramchandran Madela. Thank you for sharing your thoughts on candidate ghosting and job moonlighting. I have had the privilege of being deeply involved in the evolution of OfferX as the product owner. Working alongside with our talented team, we aim to create a solution that addresses the challenges faced by both the companies and candidates in the hiring process. We took OfferX to live recently and we got overwhelming response. All thanks to our marketing team, they were diligently working to promote the idea of OfferX. As of now, we have 500 plus companies enrolled and more than 1500 plus candidates engaged. With OfferX, employees can notice candidates' past onboarding journey, uncovering whether they have ever ghosted offer letters in the past or stayed committed. So if you're not yet registered with OfferX, I request you to register as early as possible and leverage all the features and functionalities of OfferX and become a part of this game-changing application. And we need your support to socialize OfferX to eliminate this major issue in the organization today. I'm also excited to share that we have a couple of other products currently in the pilot phase, and they will soon be released into the market. One of this is Graphi, a revolutionary tool designed to eliminate inefficiencies in the recruitment process, transforming the way the recruiters and hiring managers collaborate. Graphi offers a unique solution by allowing you to build a social network with recruiters, hiring managers, and consulting agencies, completely streamlining the entire recruitment workflow. Now you might wonder how Graphi differs from other ATS systems in the market. So here is the differentiator. Hiring managers can seamlessly connect with their preferred vendors and recruiters to share open positions and track candidate submission all within one centralized platform. And the real game changer is the end-to-end communication capabilities, fostering the collaboration between the hiring managers and recruiters directly within the Graphi platform. And additionally, we are coming up with another groundbreaking product, ScreenX. This is a web-based platform which is designed to significantly reduce your interview screening time by up to 90%, streamlining the entire process from start to finish. So ScreenX is incredibly user-friendly. You can easily configure the questions you wanted to ask from extensive bank of free interview questions. The system then sends a video interview to the candidate, allowing them to respond to their own pace. Once the candidate completes their interview, the platform automatically saves it and notifies the hiring team that it's ready for viewing. The efficiency gains are remarkable. Interviewers can review at 30 minutes pre-screening in as little as 3 to 5 minutes of time. This means you can assess your candidate without consuming as much as your valuable time. As we continue to innovate and expand our product offerings, stay tuned for the official releases, and we look forward to bring you more cutting-edge solutions to elevate your recruitment experience. Yeah, that's what I have today. So I'm all open for the question and answer session. So if you have any questions or or if you have any feedback, then please let us know. And I can notice that most of the audience are already started using OfferX. Then probably if you have any kind of feedback or any questions, please feel free to drop a question on the chat. Thank you.
Thank you, Santosh. Yes, if anybody of you would want to speak with the speakers or the panelists, please let us know. You can raise your hand and we will enable your mic. Until then, I have a few questions that I see in the chat for Mr. Hari Prasad. Mr. Prasad, somebody wants to know how we can reduce the unwanted leaving of the company after working a few days or 1 month.
Firstly, we'll have to find what is the reason that they have joined. See, a lot of candidates are there where they accept offers, post, keeping in line other offers just because they were dealing, they wanted to job because they are an immediate joiner, they will join. But they would shift the company just because they got a better offer in terms of monetary benefits. As I mentioned in one of my points, firstly, set the expectations. As I clearly mentioned, we cannot completely eliminate. This can be one of the situation, but from the initial stage, how cautiously you are assessing a candidate, how better you are making your decisions in terms of assessing whether he is the right candidate, whether he is a culture fit. That is very important thing. Culture, how do you see a culture fit? In the past records, whether you are seeing a candidate who's hopping his job every 3 months, every 6 months, please put aside those kind of CVs. It is a risk for you, your time, and your company. That is one way how you can find a behavioral pattern of a candidate.
Great, sir. There is another question actually for you. Candidate says all the things that you have mentioned in your PPT, and after clearing all the rounds and interviews, then they ghost the HRs. In such a scenario, what can an HR do?
See, candidates says all these points, but how genuinely are they saying? Given that HR is something which is more related to behavior and the what do you say, the character that can be assessed while you're talking to a candidate, whether he telling the truth or lying or bluffing something, or there are some candidates who are over smarting hrs are like, when candidates talk very uh, better way or very a nice way, hrs are getting floored. That is one more mistakes what a lot of hrs are doing. The candidate who talks well doesn't mean that he's a very right fit can to the role. There are candidates who are outparting the interviews, but they're not fit for the particular role. I have experienced that right yesterday. There was a candidate who was talking very well, very well. The hiring manager was very much impressed. She then and there said, I want to hire this candidate, but I have given my input. Candidate is very good in talking. After that, whether a candidate is staying in a job for a month, it is always a risky. That comes with your experience. So how do I contain that? That comes with an experience. Your ability to find the right and wrong in a candidate. Yes,
All
Santosh, I
right. So
think you have.
I second that with what Hari Prasad said. Thanks for that, Hari Prasad. And that's where OfferX came into existence actually, because if you still have multiple checkpoints with the candidates, and the candidates might still say that I'm okay with whatever you say, until unless the job start date begins, you won't understand that the candidate has really ghosted or not. So we don't have anything anything in the market to check the credibility of the candidate actually. So that's where OfferX is different from the other, that's where the OfferX come into the existence actually, because you can check the complete past onboarding journey of the candidate in OfferX. So that's where you can take informed decision whether you wanted to release an offer letter or not. Yeah. So and we have something called offer history, a feature in place where you can able to see if the candidate has accepted multiple offers from different companies, provided all those companies are in OfferX. So you have many parameters to check in OfferX to understand the credibility of the candidate. So that's where you can decide whether you wanted to release an offer letter or not. Yeah.
Thank you, Santosh, for that input. Actually, on that point, the next question is to you only. That how do you get the data of the candidates for OfferX?
Yeah, so the data is something which we are completely relying on the companies as of now, because we don't want to showcase any kind of fabricated data to our users. So we are encouraging the companies to start using OfferX, start writing onboarding journeys or onboarding reviews of the candidates actually. So that's where we are bringing the reviews into the system.
Great. And how is OfferX beneficial in the construction industry? Somebody wants.
What is that? Construction industry? So, Apurva, can you just repeat that question again?
Yes, somebody wants to know how is OfferX beneficial in the construction industry?
Yeah, so it doesn't depends upon the domain actually, whether it's a construction industry or an IT industry. So all that it really matters is the candidates are ghosting or not. So I can see that even in the construction industry there are many sales people who will be frequently jumping from one company to other company. It's a very common thing in the sales actually. So we have a data of the sales people as well in OfferX, where you can check the credibility of those people, so you can just leverage all the features and the functionality of OfferX, and you can just check the credibility of them before taking any kind of decisions.
Can they search any random candidate to know their behavior and pattern on OfferX?
Yeah, so the candidates cannot search another candidate a behavior or pattern. So it works something like this. The companies can able to search candidates history and the candidates can able to search the company history. But we don't have anything called, candidate to candidate and company to company. That will not work in this way.
The data question also has a extended question that how do we get this information that they have ghosted previously? So I think if it is already Santosh, let me just add on to your point only. I suppose that we are trying to do here is making a HR fraternity, making a community that is coming together to battle this. The OfferX is just the platform. You will have to come together as HRs so that HR ABC have endured something and the HRD finds out about it through the OfferX platform. That is how we find out that the particular candidate has ghosted earlier because it is being reviewed on their profile. It is written on their profile. They have been scored on that basis. Am I right, Santosh?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Apurva. Yeah, I second that with what you just said. Yeah.
Another question is there. Don't you think it is natural thing if you get a better offer and you will accept it, right?
Right, so it is something which is very common, but the problem here is the candidate has accepted the offer. We want we are in the market just to make sure that so we're having an ethical job market actually. So once we have signed any kind of offer letter with any of the company, all that we wanted to make sure is he has committed to what he has signed for actually. So that's where OfferX comes into the picture. So when you have a proper for example, say that you got a better offer, then probably you can talk with your company A, and then you can you can part ways properly. But most of the candidates will not do that actually. So until unless the job started begins, the company A will not have any kind of clue that the candidate has ghosted. So if you can part your ways properly, then it won't have any kind of a problem. But all that it really makes difference is, the candidates will disappear without informing anything to the companies. That's a problem.
I completely agree with that. And I see there are so many questions coming up in the chat. I would really want to ask if anybody wants to talk, they can just raise their hand and we can enable their mic because that'll be, we are trying to wrap up very quickly. And Are there any raised hands? Because I see some yes, somebody said yes that they want to talk, but I don't see any raised hand. If there are any raised hands, can we enable one mic at a time, please? Once the speaker gets their mic enabled, please address the question to whomever you want to talk to, and please ask your question swiftly. Since we are running out of time, we will have to take only few. We can only enable only few mics, not all, but do rest assured that we will take all questions, either personally or in the next webinar or through the mail. Can we have anybody's mic being enabled?
Yeah, hi, my name is Parul. Okay, yeah. Okay, so I have a quick query. Does OfferX abide by labor law and data privacy law? So recently, also like for especially for employers, it has been this DPDPA. This act has certain impositions on employer. So here, all employers, we are forming a community, and it might I'm not really sure, but it might contradict the equal opportunity of work that clause in labor law. So because we are abiding people, we are providing them rating that will refrain them for appearing for interviews for future companies. So does it abide by that law? And also one other thing, that we are sharing their data in terms of that this person has appeared for our as for interview here or has received offer letter from us. So does it abide legally?
Right. So I can take that question. Parul, thanks for asking that question, actually. So we have a very strong legal team at OfferX. And I see that you're talking more about the DPDP and the personal data laws and the security laws. I can understand. So we are completely abiding with all those laws. So whatever the features and the functionalities which you see in OfferX are completely binded with the legality. And moreover, we are taking the consent of both the companies and candidate while registering, actually. So that's how we are legally binded, and we don't see any problem there. So all that it really matters is the consent part. So if the candidate if the candidate is giving the consent, then obviously we are very clear with that. So we are legally binded.
So you're taking candidates acknowledgement for that as well, undertakings from candidate that his information will be there, that he has appeared for interview.
Correct. So
that is the source of data. The candidate is the source of your data, or the companies who are your client. Those are one.
So the thing is, so we are showcasing the data such as the company reviews and the candidate reviews in our portal, actually. But we are not going to showcase any kind of offer letters to anyone. So it's one-to-one, actually. If the company is releasing an offer letter to a candidate, then it is one-to-one. So we are not going to showcase these offer letters to anyone. So all that it really matters is the review system here. So for example, if the company is writing any kind of a review on a candidate, then all other companies can able to see that. And it works vice versa. If the candidate writes any kind of a review on a company, then obviously all other candidates can able to see that on the company's profile. So we are taking the consent from both the candidates and the companies to showcase this data in our platform.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah. So Parul, so what we can do is, I see you have raised some interesting points on legality and moreover on the personal data handling. So what we can do is, probably we can connect a one-to-one on your suitable time so that, we can discuss more on this, actually. Yeah.
Sure, definitely.
So we need a support from from you as well to socialize this. So we are so all that we need from you is Parul. So Parul, if you could able to message your email and phone number to us, then that will be really helpful. So
yeah,
you can
sure,
drop
definitely. Your team already has it, but I will do that.
Sure. Thanks, Parul. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Swati. And I see there were very many hands risen. And thank you for answering that, Santosh, very eloquently. And yes, definitely, we will be sharing details and we will get in touch with all those who have any questions that are legal based, technical based, definitely. But today, for now, we had only this much time, so we will have to wrap it up. Do not worry. We are going to take all the questions. We will consolidate consolidated email with all the answers, and we will be sending you. And definitely, you can reach to us with more questions or more issues if you are facing as an HR as well. Even if you are not a OfferX user, we can at least tell you that you know what you can do when OfferX can be helpful to you. And with that, we will have to wrap up the webinar for today. Thank you so much. Special thank you to the um, special guests who came today and gave their time to us. And thank you so much, Santosh, for your insights on the webinar. As a product owner, definitely you had a lot of meaningful insight. And to all those who put up their questions and who attended this webinar today. Sai, can we go to the closing slide, please? You can reach us on the given number and also email us on support@offerx.com. Support@offerx.in. And we will definitely try to respond as swiftly as possible. And huge shout out to the esteemed speakers. You guys, your expertise was definitely unmatchable. Thank you so much for being there today. Before we conclude, thank you so much. I see that there are 80% of our attendees they are already registered on OfferX, and those who haven't, kindly please take a moment at your earliest convenience to register with OfferX. And let's unite as HR professionals and as a community to committed to be eradicating the recruitment ghosting and the job moonlighting. On behalf of the team OfferX, I would really like to inform you all that we are planning for more such webinars and physical events. Thank you for your participation and stay tuned for more such updates on our upcoming events and follow our social media channels for more information. We look forward to connecting with you soon. Have a wonderful day.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.